Hello guys, in today's video surprisingly I won't be repairing anything, but instead decided to spend a bit of a time revealing a software, which software will be particularly interesting to all Volvo P3 platform enthusiasts who are looking to make some upgrades to their car. My plan is to make a few retrofits with this software on my own car, so maybe if there is an interest I might record them and put them online. The program is called P3tool, and to add a bit of a background to the story, it's a Windows developed software by a person called Johnny. Apparently he's a clever guy whose initial intentions were to retrofit his V70 tailgate. He shared his experience into a forum, and the people's big interest in resulted into the further development of the program and for making it publicly available. I'm not going to turn this video into autobiography video, but I'm going to leave a link into the video description to the page where you can download the software and later on request full access against a small fee. So what this software does overall is it allows you to change the car software configuration after a certain retrofit. Let's say you've added a parking camera, all the hardware needed, modules etc. is installed, so now you need to tell the car that this system is actually present so it will start to communicate with it. You can actually do more than that, but stay at the end of the video to find out. So enough talking, let's get into it. So you have opened the tool and now you need to log in with the credentials you've been given. So once we're in, first thing we see is the start page. So what we have is the device section. You can select the type of tool used. As far as I'm aware, all the popular J2534 cables are supported, but preferred choices are Dyson Mongoose. So if you have the drivers installed, it would show on the drop-down menu, so you'll be able to connect. We can actually see it's recognizing the VIN. A nice thing is that the battery voltage is displayed, so you can keep an eye on it while faffing with the car. On the right side, we have the vehicle list sections with demo config example. The purpose of this is for the user to use it as a template so you can see what the available configuration registers are and to kind of explore a bit before you've actually paid for access. Just for the demonstration, I'm gonna actually import it. So we click on the car config and that's how it looks. We can scroll quickly through them just to get a feel of what's available. So now as we are on the config page, the next thing which you need to do before being able to read the car configuration or make any changes, you need to first decode your CEM PIN. We're not going to fall into details on how this is happening. The important thing is that this has been embedded as a function into P3tool. I've actually done this already, but we will upload some snapshots from when I did it. As you can see, all you need to do is pressing on the find pin button. Then you hear the car resetting, some relays clicking, and the car will get into programming mode. Minimum power will be drawn, but you still may want to connect the charger. Or alternatively, you can do it in a couple of runs. The decoding process will recover from where it's been stopped the last time, so it's not absolutely necessary to do it at once. Depending on your CEM PIN position and the interface you use, the decoding could take up to 24 hours, but usually it's around 7 to 8 hours. A good indication is the key combinations per second shown here, which for a good cable is about 250-300 keys. So as I said, I found the pin already, so you skip the whole decoding process, but once the pin is found, it will appear in this box here. So we select it, and against it we get the CEM PIN expressed into hex format. So as your lead is connected, we import the following, then move back to the config page, and we can press the read button, which will read our car current configuration. That is done, so we can now verify it successful-ish by looking at familiar registers, for example the vehicle's model, engine, or gearbox maybe. The most important thing before starting messing with config is to create a backup or save your original config as a file. You can do that by pressing on the save button. Now for the config registers, I'm not going to get into details of what is what and what possible retrofits could be done. Basically, it's a lot of things, but something you need to bear in mind is that it's all on your own risk. If you enter invalid register with missing hardware software part, in the best possible case, it will simply ping a trouble code, which will clear as you return the config back. Worst thing is you break a module or get things out of sync. So if you don't really feel comfortable or want to risk it, seek help from someone who has used it or know what he's doing. Once you've made your adjustments, you click write and the config gets updated. Just to make a demonstration, I will change the theme of the TFT cluster from our design back to standard. So you save changes and then click write car config. Moving on to the next step, here we have some force sync functions. The idea is if you make a config change that, for example, interacts with any of the displayed modules, there might be instances where you have to resync those modules with CEM. The simplest examples are start-stop function or cruise control maybe. So moving on to the next page, we have some handy security functions here. If you're looking to faff with the multimedia network, upgrade or replace music, amplifier, etc., you have to disable the ITP security. Volvo has this protection on most network which aims preventing theft. In simple terms, it won't allow you to do a straight swap between components if it detects the serial numbers aren't matching. So this could be really useful. Of course, as you read yourself on the page, there are certain models which might not be supported. So the next page is for the DIM retrofits. So that one is slightly trickier one as it's a work in progress as far as I'm aware. So there isn't a full software coverage for all P3 models. In terms of how it could be used, well, if you've got the TFT connected, you can use the detect button to see if it will be recognized. The next thing to do as a starting point is to create backups so you can use them for recovery later if needed. Then you'll need to change your config manually by going back to the P3 config section, and you want to choose the TFT dim option as well as pick a screen skin. If the TFT hasn't worked yet, your next option is to check the available options into the 3 boxes in the conversion section, which will allow a bit more of a customization of the software inside the DIM. So basically, you pick the ones which would match your vehicle best, and then you can write the flash. Again, it needs to be noted that not all fuel tanks and model years options have been implemented, which isn't surprising as it's a fairly big database with lots of combinations. The last step here is for trouble code scanning and clearing. You'll find it quite convenient is when you enter invalid config settings. This could be a quick way to check if you have upset something. So overall, that's what the software looks like. Check out the links in the description as well as my webpage. If you like this video or would like more of those type, make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.